mentioned earlier about the guy that with the plumber guy with the radiator. Now you invested the market in different countries. How is there any way of going about investing the market without getting professional help in? Is there any way that if you're starting to grow a business, how can you investigate the market and see what the marketplace is like? Without paying loads for it.
Okay, well, there's lots of different ways of investigating the market without spending a fortune. I mean, I think that's important to say. Not everything costs an arm and a leg. For a start, in market research, there's a lot of desktop market research available now. The internet is a wonderful place to look at. And we found untold valuable data on the internet. So that would be my first place to go. The second place to go is onto the street and ask people. Ask people what they believe they want. Ask them what they want out of something. If you say that my widget is going to do this, ask them if that's what they'd like. Some colleagues of mine, I've been at a presentation this morning with some fairly big businessmen. The presentation centred around a company that has developed this fantastic sensor. And I don't know whether you're aware, I think it was last year or the year before, there was a bridge in Pennsylvania, I think, that collapsed. Killed quite a number of people. The reason it collapsed was because it had got old and it had moved. But there was no sensors attached to the bridge to tell people that it was moving. And one day it moved too far and fell down. So this company has got this fantastic product. Not only does it tell you about bridges, of which, by the way, there's 75,000 bridges that need these sensors in the States. What a great market to have. These sensors cost about £100,000 a piece. What a great market. I wish I'd got a couple of bob invested in that. But they also have got the sensor. When you see a tank, a battle tank, going through the countryside, I know that there's not many of them driving around the Peak District, but on the television, and they're bouncing all over the place, the barrel stays exactly in the same place. These sensors do that to allow the tank to fire while it's on the go, so it doesn't get picked up itself. And when my colleagues, I've got a number of feet in a number of different places, and I'm a director of this company, and when they went in to see these people, the question that was asked was, so what do your customers think? Have you asked them? Oh, no, can't ask the customers. They might sack him. Might be an excuse for them to say we don't want to deal with you anymore. So they eventually managed to convince them to go and ask customers, but we did it for them. And the customers thought they were great. All the things that they thought they were weak on, the customers thought they were fantastic on. All the things they thought they were strong on, the customers thought they were crap on. But because they were the only ones who did the product in such a way that they liked it, they weren't going to change. So they turned the company around from being a £6 million company into a £10 million company and got them into America on the basis that they turned these things around. Now that research costs quite a bit of money because they had a professional team in to actually do it. But the point about it is, if you go out onto the street and say, right, I've got this new, I don't know, skipping rope or whatever it is this something that your kids have got? You know, is this something that you could use? Now most of them might back away from you and think that you're a bit strange. But a lot of them will give you the time to say, yes, no, maybe. And how much would you be prepared to pay for it? And it's amazing how many people won't say, I want it for free. When we had the valve, when it was in its early stages, we did some focus groups. And it was great. It was a great time of life because we got some groups of plumbers and took them to the pub. And we had we got a few curries and a few pints and let them sit down and look at these valves. It was great. And they answered the questions before they got the drink, so it wasn't induced answers. And every single one of them said, it's little to pay when there's so much at stake. And you don't have to pay that. It could be as little as the cost of a ticket to park the car. So there's lots of ways of doing it. And one of the things that I didn't pick up on, you've got one of the best research departments in the country. Department of Information. I think that's what they call it, informatics or something like that. Dead opposite the Settle Centre anyway, it's in there. Fantastic department. I've used them before. They did a great job for me and they've done a great job for one of my clients. And we got that for free. Why? Because the people who were doing the research were postgrads doing master's dissertations. And we gave them projects. Now, we didn't get it back in a weekend, but we got it back over a period of a few months. Fantastic, and it's all dead good quality. So there's lots and lots of different ways of doing it. Go out there and ask people radical stuff, but you'll get a straight answer. The thing that you shouldn't do is ask family and friends. It's the worst possible thing you can do, because they will always say, it's great, fantastic, we'd pay £1,000 for that. And so you make it and you charge £1,000, and 10 years later, when you're still waiting for your first sale, you wonder what you've done wrong. Family and friends will never ever want to upset you. So never ask them. Never give them the opportunity of being embarrassed. Go and find people who you respect, but don't really know. They'll give you a far clearer answer and a far more honest answer. And that won't cost you anything either. You've just got to be prepared to take a no for an answer sometimes and work on that. And not just a no. If it's a no, say, okay, then, but why? And you'll get some good, valuable, cheap data. But it's all about applying yourself and putting the time in to get it. I'm sure that somebody once said, and I might be proven wrong, and if I am, I apologise for misleading you. A customer survey was valid with as few as 50 people, or between 50 and 60 people. And that would be representative of a 100,000 population. So it doesn't take very large samples to actually get some fantastic feedback. And let's face it, if you've done 20 or 30 and everybody's saying the same thing, perhaps it's telling you something. Good, bad or indifferent. So that's really important that you use those resources. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Sorry if I went on a bit. Any more? Anyone got any funny stories?
How difficult is it to patent a service? I can understand how it works with a product, but with a service.
A service is very difficult. It's difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible. I've never had to patent a service. I've actually trademarked some. And that's probably the easiest way of doing it, and it's cheap. And one of the services that I offer is training people on how to use strategies. It's effectively a training service, but I've trademarked the name. You can't. It's very difficult to trademark the process and this sort of thing, or protect, you know, that detail, because lots of people can work around it. Come up with different variations of it. But where it becomes invaluable is if you get a service or a process that you can prove time and time again works to the benefit of the client, then you can perhaps wrap it up in something slightly different and go and protect that. Well, thank you in that case for your time, and I hope it's been useful. And if you want to ask any questions while I'm putting it away, then please come up and see me. Thank you.